everybody, and welcome back to OMB Reviews. I am the critic who is a cynic. How is everyone doing this evening? Welcome to episode 467 of the Welcome to Asgard podcast, where tonight we're back, baby. Hopefully we are back. I'm trying something a little bit different this evening. I currently am using a new browser streamer instead of my typical OBS setup. So I'm using EVMux. I know that Comics Division actually just used this for the first time on his channel last night. I've been playing around with some of the settings, and so I've got that going. And also, I recently discovered something called Stream Video Ninja. And because of the Stream Video Ninja, I should theoretically be able to show all of the comments from all of the different locations that we are streaming, because as always, we are streaming on Rumble, on Odyssey, on YouTube. We also should theoretically be live on Twitter, though it was not showing up before the stream actually went live. So, there we go. Looks like it is showing now on Twitter. So that is fantastic, or on X if that is what you prefer. But hopefully everything is going well. Hopefully everything is coming through just fine. The sound's coming through, the video's coming through just fine as well. In order to get all of the chat to show up on stream, I am of course having to use my virtual cam through OBS in order to get the chats to come up. Because obviously I want to be able to share all the chats, not just the YouTube and the Rumble chats, which can be done through EVMux. But I'm excited, very, very excited, and I'm excited to be back. And this is indeed the first stream that I am doing since I have been back from basically paternity leave from the channel, because I obviously had a daughter, and she is awesome. The Lady Sif is doing very, very well. She is almost 4 weeks old, which is kind of insane to think about. Baby Thor just turned 3 this past Friday, in fact. So yeah, things are definitely looking very, very good. Things have been going very well here. The Lady Freya is doing well. A little bit of illness here and there, but overall, she's doing very well. So thank you for all the prayers. Thank you for understanding why we had to delay different aspects of the channel a little bit. And so you guys are seriously awesome, and it's great to be back. Glad that I was able to do this stream tonight. And boom, I'm glad to see that this chat is indeed working. Let me actually check something real quick to see if this will also be working with the EVMux, if I set that one up correctly, because if there's ever any issues with using the OBS setup that I currently am, obviously I might have to go back to just using directly EVMux or directly using OBS instead. But it's looking like there are some Rumble issues as far as that. But because I've got this awesome setup, hey, King Rumsky, welcome to the chat, good sir. That's right. I figured it out. Whether it's going to work well or not, I have no idea. But everyone can now see King Rumsky over on Rumble. There you go. You're welcome. Let's go ahead and say hello to the people who are in the chat, though. We had GMonkey76. What is going on, brother? Says, welcome back and congratulations on Baby Sif. Hopefully Thor is being a good big brother. He's actually been pretty fantastic. He's actually been pretty fantastic so far. And it's been really, really cool to see. And it's one of those things where it's not until you have that second child and you see those interactions between your first and second that you start to actually, kind of realize just how special that relationship actually is. And so, obviously when we, at first there was a little bit of that, sense, at least a sense of jealousy. But luckily we've, I think, handled it about as well as we possibly can. We've been just very clear with him of, clear that we obviously still love him and that this is not going to mean that we love him any less. And I think one of the benefits is that Baby Thor is very much a daddy's boy. He's very much he's very much attached to the hip, as it were. So that kind of was a benefit, because obviously with Baby Sif, she needs her mom a lot more than she needs me right now in her life. And we were a little concerned because she would be getting all the attention from mom. But luckily, because he is kind of attached to my hip and definitely more focused on me, it has helped out in a lot of ways. So I think that's definitely helped with the transition. But yeah, he's been a great big brother so far, and it's been awesome to see. Orange Eye Reviews, what's going on, good sir? He is, of course, the king mod here. I see it's showing up in the chat on my end. It's just the orange hat. Did you drop Orange Hat Reviews by chance? Seems showing Orange Hat in different locations. Thank you for the prayers. I appreciate it. And he is indeed the king mod, and make sure to follow his instructions as he says, "Welcome to Asgard, All-Father has returned. If you seek his attention, please put @Odin at the very beginning of your comment. @Odin lets me know that you're trying to get my attention, helps me able to decipher out the different comments and chats, and this is to all platforms, no matter where you are watching. I don't think there is a way yet for chat to show up on Twitter. If you happen to know that there is chat on Twitter, please let me know, and I will try and see if I can get this bad boy running, because so far it is showing all of the different chats from the different locations. Very happy to see that. Orange Hat, who is a member, I'm also happy because it shows memberships on here too, which definitely helps, because if you are a member, one of the perks is that you don't have to do the tag, unless of course you're talking to somebody else, in which case I ask you to please tag the person that you're talking to. Orange Hat says, Odin has a new youngling, so he may have to be called to tend to the young one. Do not overwhelm him with questions. Yeah, questions are great. We are back in the swing of things with questions, but yes, that is absolutely true. And actually, thank you for reminding me to remind everyone else of that yes, because we do have the youngin, who's almost 4 weeks old. When I last saw her, I had just rocked her to sleep, so she was pretty settled there, but as you all know, when it comes to newborns, especially in the first, month or so of life, it's not going to be as, as simple and straightforward as you would want it to be. So I might very well be called away, especially because the Lady Freya was not feeling too well earlier. She's feeling a lot better now, but obviously family comes first, and so there is that chance that could happen. And if that does happen, I'll have to figure out, I think I might need to create, because now that I'm using EVMux, one of the things that I can do is get some help in creating maybe a standby scene or something like that. There's a lot of free resources once you are actually a member using it. So I'll have to maybe look into that. But as of right now, we're doing okay. We got 32 people watching. Again, thank y'all very much. So far, it's only showing me viewers from YouTube. I know that with Rumble, it's very specific kind of integration with Rumble. I did see a chat show up there in the live chat on EVMux, but even if it doesn't, because I do have this video ninja, the stream ninja, it is definitely helping. Hopefully though, oh man, don't tell me this is coming back. Oh no, the chat jumps are back. That's the one downside of this app. I've just realized that the chat jumps are back. Oh no, that's not good. But yes, indeed, don't spam. We got Miss Modern Muses. Let me say hello to more people. Miss Modern Muses, what's going on? Criticless Noob. Yes, thank you for joining over there. We got Bruce in the chat. What's going on? Kick44, what's up? Rob D, welcome back. You didn't miss anything. Box office has been dead for a month or so. Yeah, I've been keeping track of it, trying to update the site when I can. So thank you, though, for that update. Rob D, what is going on? Rob D, you didn't miss anything. Was that a double comment? Could be also the chat box that I'm using here. Bruce, again, glad to have you back, man. JS Pena, ahoy! How is Sif? And have you watched Dumb Money yet? No, I've been wanting to see Dumb Money, have not seen it yet. I'm very sad because I know it's in a lot less theaters now. I was able to see The Creator, and I was able to put a review up last week for that. But that's pretty much where we are with that. Keely Chow, what is going on? Welcome back. We got Ambrose Chamberpot. Hail to you. Thank you for being here. Bruce says, I see it on X. Good. Glad to hear it. Orange Chat, blasphemy. The scroll on the bottom makes me redundant. Shame. Bro, I've had the scroll every single stream, though. Did you never remember that I always had the little, when I was using it in OBS, it was the green, had the OMB Reviews sign on this side, I should say, and it had the black text. It's always been there. It's just, I think that the logo is probably distracting it a little bit, which is why I'm actually preferring using it in EVMux in this instance, because it means I don't have to worry about it as much. Let's see, Hardwick, have you seen the trailer for the Daily Wire Snow White? Bro, have you not seen the bro, can you read? Did you not see how the title of the video and the title of the stream starts off with Daily Wire Snow White? I'm not even going to answer your question right now. I'm going to make you wait. Orange Chat says, happy 3rd to young Thor. Yes, indeed, to young Thor. King Kane says, whoa, mind blown. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Dean Heiss, who is a citizen of Asgard, thank you for renewing, good sir. Being a member for 40 months, according to my Streamlabs notification. Thank you again for being here. Hail to the Allfather. Hail to you. Thank you again. That is his member chat. Orange Chat has been on the channel for 39 months in a row. He's at the Army of Asgard level. Thank you very much. That's the one downside so far I've seen to this this just chat highlighter is that it does not tell me specifically if it is a member chat. It does change the font a little bit, so I guess I'll have to get used to that, but we'll see. Lee Mitchell, what's going on? Welcome to the channel. Soul Assassin, what's up, brother? Dean Ice is a member. Hail. Oh, it's been a while, but wanted to show up for your return. Congrats on Baby Sif. Happy birthday, Thor. Thank you very much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Let's see. Oh, man. Look at that. Look at that abomination. That's right. Odyssey chat works here, too. So we got Abomination hanging out in the chat. He says, forget Twitter. Stream to Truth Social. That's where all the cool people are. The problem is I was on Truth Social. Eventually, I took my break from social media, and so I got rid of that account. And I just have no desire to really come back. I mean, let's be honest. Truth Social is mostly for politics. I'm not saying that there isn't other stuff on there, but it's mostly for politics. And if people are really honest, it's mostly to follow the thoughts of Donald Trump. And again, if that's what you want to do, no problems with that. Let's see. Rob D. Had to say, I saw the scene where that Gordon's Alive is from. Isn't it a great scene? It's a wonderful scene. Fantastic movie also. Mr. Roy hanging out. What's up, Mr. Roy? Thanks for being here. Orange Hat says, Odin, yes, I dropped the reviews as it was the least viewed aspect, so I am now just I'm just Orange Hat. Okay, gotcha. The man with the orange hat, I will call you. King Mod. The R, what is going on, brother? Welcome back to the chat. Always glad to have you here. I do still have Heimdall running, so if you ever want a link or looking for something, look to Heimdall. He is the bot, running automated messages every so often. So just keep track of that if you can. And also on EVMux, there is a giveaway feature, so I might be testing that out later. No promises. I'm still just trying to get through these chats. Joey's Movie Blog had to say we finally got our gas line replaced after it got blown up during a lightning storm. Oh, dang, dude. I'm hoping the gas lines being blown up was not in the vicinity of your home, because I feel like it would also be asking the question of, is your home okay? But glad to hear that your gas line has been replaced. Again, we use gas here as well. I love it. Rogue Attraction, what's going on, Rogue Attraction? What's up, brother? EV Mux, yeah, with an X. Again, so far, if everything's coming through fine, then we're in good shape. It essentially does. I've been using Restream forever, right? I used Restream because one of the things that Restream used to offer, I've since realized and figured out that they don't offer it. When Restream was in its infancy, with its free plan, you could actually use it to stream to up to, I think, 4 different platforms. And that was all for free. So if you had OBS, you could use them as your server. So you would send a signal to them, and they would send the signal out to like 4 different locations, if not more. I forget the exact number, for free. Now, they, obviously, because they got a bit more popular, they were able to get a lot more people, and using their service, I'm sure that was a big part of it. Essentially, what they were able to then do with that was they, just like with most companies, raise their prices, reduce features with the free. And so now it's only like 2 places that you can stream to with the free. And so, you know, I've been using Restream. I used Restream Studio also whenever I did the Chosen of Valhalla streams as well. And it was fine. It did everything I wanted to do. But one of the most annoying things was always the chat, for one. And also, I always felt like things were just not nearly as smooth as I would like them to be. And I really do enjoy, with the time that I've been playing around with EVMux, everything is, I think, a lot more seamless, a lot more smooth, at least on my end. And obviously, this is kind of a test stream in a certain way. So if you've noticed any major issues or anything that is significantly different, please, of course, let me know. But everything should be coming through, and I have not heard anything since. Gary Banjo Sandwich Worthington, again, so glad to have you back here, man. He says, hi, brother, thanks for the follow. Hey, man, I love Criticless. We'll talk about Criticless as well. I've shared my love of the platform several times over, and I'm not even sponsored by them. You know, those salty nerds, they're sponsored by them, but but I am trying to spread the good word. You know, I have 2 goals in my life: to spread the good word of Christ, of course, and to spread the good word of Criticless, because it's just a really fun app. It's an app where, and I know that, shout out to the salty nerds, but the Salty Nerd himself, Alec, I know that he had mentioned this on one of his streams, how what Criticless has done is it's made him look forward to writing reviews. It's made him look forward to going to watch something just so that he can then put his review up on Criticless. And that's exactly how I feel as well. So, for sci-fi, Odin sabotaged Hollywood to make it easier to take time off. Yeah, well, they don't call me Odin for nothing. Bruce says, I watched Barbie today and I didn't hate it. Well, Bruce, you disappoint me. You disgust me, and I never want to talk to you again. Hey, man, as I like to say, if you enjoyed it, bro, I can't take that away from you. I don't want to take that away from you. But come on, man. Come on, man. I expected better. Abomination, again. I can highlight you now. Ha-ha! Now there's no more hiding. No more hiding for you. He says, uh-oh. Yes, but please tag if you have comments or questions that you want read out loud. All right. Matt R., what's going on, Matt R.? Hail to you. Kick and Rumsky says, I'm behind as per usual. Any highlights, lowlights over the past few weeks concerning the arrival of Baby Girl, of the Lady Sif, Baby Sif? Highlights would be the creator. I thought it was a very, very good movie. Trying to think if there's anything else. My wife and I got into, right before Baby Sif was born, we got into, or right around the time, actually, we got into Welcome to Wrexham, which is an FX show with Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney from It's Always Sunny fame. And that's a really good show, too. Shout out to Blaine on Criticless. He's like the owner and runner of the guy who runs Criticless. He actually had posted a review on that platform of that show, and I thought, I had kind of heard about this, but I didn't really know much about it. When I saw his review, I said, okay, this seems like something that I might be able to look out, and sure enough, I did, and it's been great. It's been a lot of fun. Let's see. Orange Hat says, as for the Daily Wire and their Snow White, they will have to branch out further if they intend to fight Disney. They need to allow physical media and digital purchases if they are to ever compete. Yeah, and Orange Hat, since you're awesome and you're my king mod, I will absolutely talk about that now. And since you clearly have read the the title of the stream, I appreciate it. So yeah, let's talk about Daily Wire and their Snow White. And so for those that are not aware, just the other day, Daily Wire had launched. In fact, I think it was just yesterday. In fact, maybe yesterday, the day before, they officially launched their, I believe it's called Broken Key, which is, it's a new separate app. And that's actually one thing I will say, Orange Hat, one thing I think that shows they're moving in the right direction is the fact that while it's the Daily Wire subscription that gives you access to the children's content, remember they spent like $100 million on kids content and said, it's coming, don't worry, right? We're working on it. It's going to be great. And sure enough, they released many, many hours worth, I think was 100 hours worth or 100 episodes of different, 18 shows, 100 episodes between all the shows, some original content, some content they were able to buy at least the streaming rights for a time. And in addition to that, they launched a new app. And very well, this could have been something that was announced. I wasn't following it very closely. And so, again, if this is something that was known for a long time, again, it is what it is. But it's a great idea. And so I think that's the first thing is kudos to the Daily Wire for separating their kids' content from the Daily Wire itself, right? Because Daily Wire, very specifically political content, people who go to that site or who use that app or who access the movies and shows that they have on the app are expecting things from a either political view or at best a historical view, right? It is pretty much where you're looking at that content. So having the kids' content not live on the Daily Wire app, but instead live in its own app and to have it be specifically an app for kids, I think is brilliant. It also allows for you and for a lot of people to look at their content, and they're offering some of that stuff for free. Some of their shows and the episodes, I believe, if you download the app, you can access them for free to kind of a little bit of a, kind of a taste of what it is before you actually spend any money. But then if you want to get a subscription specifically for that, you're spending the same amount of money, right? Because it's all included. So let's say you start off and you're like, I just want the kids content. You just sign up through the Broken Key app, and then you will have access to it. You'll be able to do it. And you won't have to worry about having to deal with any of the political stuff. However, if later on, or if maybe another family member of yours in the house says, hey, I actually like the Daily Wire's content, well, guess what? You can then just take the account you've set up on Broken Key, and then you can use that to sign in and access all the Daily Wire stuff. So accessing the films like What is a Woman and everything else. And so I think that that's a brilliant thing for them to do. Within the framework of that, right, getting back to Snow White, within the framework of that, as they launched the app and as they launched all their kids' content, there was also the announcement through a teaser trailer of how they were going to have their own version of the Snow White story. Now, Jeremy Boring, apparently in a post associated with this release of the teaser trailer for the movie, indicated that he's been a huge fan, or it's been indicated that about him, he's been a huge fan of the Grimm's fairy tale for a long time, and a lot of the Grimm's fairy tales, in fact. And so this is going to be a take on that versus being a take on the Disney version of the story. Now, I know that there's already been some. I was watching a little bit of Comics Division stream last night, and he was talking a little bit about how, and I'm not an expert on the fairy tales, on the Grimm's fairy tales, but one of the aspects is apparently in the original story, Snow White is a child, is actually like, 8 or 9 or something to that effect. And so some have already said, I don't really know if I buy Brett Cooper, who is one of the hosts of one of the Daily Wire shows called The Comment Section. And she, for those that don't know this, she actually is a actor, right? She actually worked in the industry. She never made, anything big, right? She was never in anything huge, but she had several roles. She was a working actress. So she has clearly received training. She has clearly been able to use that training to be in the acting space for a while. And so I think that that's already, a good sign for me that she has been chosen as a member. And I think that might also be why some people are kind of turned off, or why some people don't quite have faith in what they're going to be able to do with it, because they only maybe know her as, oh, she's the political commentator who looks a lot like Ben Shapiro. I feel like that might be kind of what most people know about her. And they may not actually know, hey, no, she actually has roots in acting. She's actually done a lot of different acting performances before. And let me just say this, I think that the teaser trailer, I think it was fantastic. And I think it's important just to make clear that this is not me simping for this movie because it's coming from the Daily Wire, because it's coming from and will be put on to the Broken Key streaming platform. But it's because it was done the right way. It starts off with a beautiful, panning shot of some woods, and you then have all of a sudden this very beautiful but ethereal singing from Brett Cooper herself, who can sing, or at least that is what I like. When I was listening to it, I did not hear a lot of post-processing myself, but I'm also not an expert on music. But I am one who has watched and been a part of musical theater for most of my life. And so when I was listening to it, I wasn't hearing a lot of processing in her voice, which is good. And also I could tell that it was her actually singing, right? That I could hear the tone of her voice and what was coming out, right? That's something where sometimes if you watch older films and you kind of in the back of your mind know, oh, I wonder if they actually sang for themselves, you can usually kind of tell. You can say, oh, that's not your voice. That's clearly someone else singing. There's some different intonations there and everything. So I'm excited because I think because she has acting background, she's received training. She was acting from when she was a kid, like she was a child actress basically. And so I ultimately think that her having that experience, also apparently having some experience singing as well, is going to lead to a very, I think, a potentially really good film. Now, I say potentially because right now all we have is a teaser. We haven't gotten a full feature-length movie from this iteration, from this sub-company of the Daily Wire. And I don't think we've gotten anything as far as directorial or writing from, as far as movies go. This would be the first feature-length film on that platform, and it's announced to be the first feature on their platform in Snow White, and that won't be coming out until 2024. Still, that's actually quite... what that tells me is that they've probably been filming. For them to say they're going to release the film in 2024 tells me, okay, they've probably been in the process of filming. So this was not something that was thrown together, last minute. And so kind of going back to the trailer, you have this beautiful shot of the scenery. You have animals being shown that did not look CGI, which is always refreshing to see. Then you have the Brett Cooper singing, which is very, very lovely. Apparently, it was Jeremy Boring who wrote I don't know if it was he wrote the melody or he wrote the lyric. I don't know which one it was, but that's what I at least read about it. And it was beautiful. And all of a sudden you have this music in the background and you see these shots of her walking around. All you see are like her feet walking through the grass, walking through the forest, and then you see just the bottom part of her dress. And at the very end, you have this huge swell of music. The camera fades up, and then you see Brett Cooper, and she turns around. And you can tell that she's had training because of the way she looks. Even in that one moment, you can tell she's gotten training. Now, whether or not she's going to fit the role, whether or not she's going to perform the role well, whether or not she's going to, provide some, groundbreaking performance, too early to tell. There's not enough in that teaser to know one way or the other, where she's going to be in that regard. But what we can tell is she has gotten training, and it showed. And this is something that maybe some people that have not paid attention to acting or have not been a part of acting in some way. But when you have, and when you recognize that, that's the kind of look of someone you're like, okay, she is embodying that character. And again, all we have right now is a look. All I can say is it was a good look. She did it well, and she was able to convey so much emotion from something that is so innocuous. And the reason why I think that the trailer is brilliant is because it has that very well orchestrated background music added with her voice, and then having the reveal of her. And when you take into account that just individually by itself, it was powerful and it was well done. Right? It was powerful and it was well done. And so I think that is going to potentially lead to some interest in it. But that's the big question. Will they actually be able to do enough with the story to branch out beyond what they already have? Because even though the app, Broken Key, the app on the Apple App Store and elsewhere, I think it was on the App Store that it got to #1 in the kids section, that's great. But then keep in mind, you have a lot of people who are already Daily Wire subscribers who are just signing into their accounts over there. And so it's good. It gets a lot of eyes on it. It means that it's trending. It means that other people might actually have access to see it and to know, a little bit more about it. But that is going to be something they have to try to shake if they want that to be a successful platform in its own right. And I also, getting back to Orange Chat, your other comment about physical media and digital purchases, I also agree. Whether they have to do some kind of, you can spend X amount of money and you get access to a 24-hour period, just like you see with other, PVOD platforms, like Google Play does that. That might be the path forward for them. Because I know a lot of people who said, hey, I want to be able to watch X movie, but I don't want to become a member. Now, I will say this. I think there are ways where you can sign up for a month and you can access all of the content you want. But I do understand that some don't like that because they don't want to sign up and then get caught in a subscription. Because that happens a lot. Right? It happens to a lot of people who you sign up for something, you forgot you signed up for it, and then you get charged again. You're like, oh, I need to cancel that. You might remember, and you might be able to do that right away. But yeah. But so far, I think it looks really good. I'm pretty excited for it. I think there's a lot of potential there. The question is, can they deliver? And that is a question that we do not currently have the answer to, but we'll find out in 2024. Jeremy Zakowski, what is going on, brother? Says, welcome back. Hope baby Sif is doing well. She is. Did you hear about Best Buy planning to get rid of Blu-ray DVD section starting beginning of 2024? Yes, I did. The only articles that I ever saw, I remember that being posted early on, and all the articles that were posting it were sites that I didn't really know, so I didn't really trust them right off the bat. So I think it's since been confirmed by some more reputable or at least more mainstream sites. I know how it's kind of that, double-edged sword where you can't really trust mainstream media, but at the same time, you can't necessarily trust lower stream media, right? More independent media, because sometimes it's not as verifiable. If you only have a bunch of small sites reporting something and it's something as big as that, and so it's not getting picked up in some of the bigger trades, I have an issue, right? At least initially, that's all I was seeing. The only articles I was seeing being shared on social media were coming from sites that were either I knew to be small or I just had never heard of. And so I questioned them immediately. But I personally think it's silly. I know that I got into a back and forth with somebody on Twitter about this, but basically with the fact that they shared how much money they made a few years ago and how much the money they've made now. And I understand, right, when you have a reduction in profits to the degree that they've had, as far as the reduction in profits is concerned, it makes sense for them to make a move like this. But at the same time, they were still making a lot of money. Now, we don't have, or at least I don't have access to how much money did they spend on all of the physical media production, right? How much cost did it actually bring to them? But if I did, I myself, when seeing those numbers, could not imagine them not being still profitable. You know? So I think it's a bad move on their part. I think it's silly that they're making the decision. I understand it's a financial one, it's a business decision. But also, let's just be honest here. Best Buy has kind of been going downhill ever since COVID, right? Ever since people were trained that, guess what? You don't have to be bothered by Best Buy associates. You can just order everything online. Things can get delivered right to your door, right? A lot of people got used to that. And we saw huge reductions in people going to those stores. You add to that the fact that the stores are just refusing to innovate, and they're actually making things almost worse by the fact, as I mentioned, when you go, they will still follow you around. When I go to a store, I want to be left alone. If I want help, I'm going to ask for it. Period. End stop. Like that. That's just all I'm going to do. Oh man, apparently over on Rumble, I'm getting rated. Shout out to Adam Krigler. What? Let me see if I can pull this one up. We're gonna do a so I've got one stream chat that I can pull up. Let me see if I can pull this. Look at that. From Rumble, King Deplorables. Adam Krigler sends his regards. Thank you, 626 Charles. King Deplorables, absolutely. Please smash that like button. Smash that fire button on Odyssey. Smash the Rumble button as well. That's awesome, dude. Thank y'all. Thank you. Anyway, so getting back to it, I think it's silly that they've made that decision. I say hi to Mr. Krigler. Shout out to him. He is a good dude. He is a good dude. And I like him a lot. I like him a lot. You guys are awesome, though. All right, getting back into the chat. Let's see. Joey's movie blog over on YouTube says, it was, Odin, it was we have slight property damage. Oh, okay. I'm sorry to hear that it was an explosion in your house, dude. I'm glad that it was only slight property damage, though, and not massive. Wait, now I'm remembering. Didn't you mention that it was like outside the house? I feel like I remember hearing about this before. Rob D, did you hear about Best Buy? Yeah, I've already talked about that. He says, I can see them going the way of Circuit City. Yeah, I can too. I honestly, to me, that's like the last thing that I really care much about Best Buy for. Like the last thing I care about, yeah, Krigler, let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Get some Krigler coffee, guys. But I can see Best Buy going that route too, man. I definitely could. I think that, again, when I think about Best Buy, the only thing I think about is, steelbooks, physical media, movies, right? Maybe rarely I would be like, maybe I could look at some of their tech stuff, maybe like a computer or something. But typically, no. Typically, I don't go that route with them. So let's see. Hardwick over on YouTube says, I'm not sold on Brett Cooper's acting abilities. I think they should have probably tried to get someone who has proven to be good at acting. That's the thing, Hardwick. So I hope that you heard what I said before. She is someone who has acted for many years. She is not a noob. She is not just a she's not just a political commentator. She's not just a political channel. She actually got her start as a child actress. So she actually does have training. Now, I do think there is a question of, does she actually have it to be able to have that role and to be able to run with the role? But Creeler says, I'm not selling coffee anymore. What? Man, you get off the internet and having a kid, and now you find out that there's less coffee in the world? That just makes me sad. That just makes me sad. Well, shout out to you anyway, good sir, and thank you for the raid. I appreciate it. It's the most action on Rumble we've had in a long time. Oh, man. All right, Bianca's hanging out on Odyssey. What's going on? Yeah, Adam, I don't know if you... I know that you stream on Rumble. I don't know if you multi-stream to Odyssey as well. But I just recently discovered an app that allows me to highlight all comments from essentially all platforms. So far, it's been working well. Abomination, if you want me to read that, tag me, please. Let's see. Kagan Rumsky over on Rumble says, whatever happened to the Gina Carano show movie backed by Ben Shapiro? Did I miss it? So there was Terror on the Prairie, and that did come out about a year or two ago. But she is producing one, and I'm not sure when. I'm not sure when that one is set to come out. Let's see. The Driveway Garden on YouTube says, I hope it's good. Typically conservative Christian movies aren't really all that great. Yeah, I agree. And I think that if you look to the movies that have been released on Daily Wire's platform, they've only ever been okay. Right? I did like the film that was put out with Gina Carano, Terror on the Prairie. I thought it was good. Didn't think it was great, though. It definitely also had some issues. So, yeah, I agree. I'm hoping it is good. It is. What's interesting to me is, obviously, and this is kind of where they sold me on it, is they recognize it's a kid's movie, and it's going to be therefore be directed towards kids. So they're not releasing it on the Daily Wire, they're releasing it on Broken Key. So I think that, again, that separation itself is already a pretty good idea for them, I think. Hardwick over on YouTube says, the nature shots were good, but the song had bland lyrics. The panning shots showing Snow White were a bit off, and Brett Cooper's smile was a bit... Hardwick, don't get out of here, bro. Was awkwardly acted? You clearly do not understand what they were trying to go with for that moment. Anyway, Chef Nick Nero on YouTube, what's going on? Says, Odin, how's the baby girl? Baby girl's doing great. She's doing great. She got back to her birth weight in no time. And yeah, she's doing fantastic. Don't worry, I will be getting to the live Rumble chats in a second. I need to catch up. Let's see. Cthulhu on YouTube says, hi all, Odin and chat. I have to say, coming into the show late, Snow White is just a cash grab by Daily Wire, which will always fail compared to an artistic effort. Cthulhu, appreciate your honesty there. I appreciate your point of view. I do disagree. I do think that well, here's the thing, all right? Every movie is going to be a cash grab. I can't think of a single artist that makes a movie not expecting people to watch it. Movies are made to be seen. Movies are made to be seen by people. Movies are made to be seen by people who spend money. I think that we do need to be more clear when we say cash grab. Cash grab implies to me, when I say it, a soulless attempt. Right now, all we have is this teaser, and I think the teaser is full of heart. So at this point, I can't see that. Now, if the movie comes out and it shows itself to be very hollow and to be heartless, we'll call it out. We'll talk about it. But I don't see that at this point. Sahil, what is going on? Welcome. Steven had to say, I've been taking this... Sorry. So I've been talking to this lady for about a month now, and everything was going great until just recently she told me she's married, been separated since February. Honestly, I don't know. Should I go on? Again, if you're asking for my advice as someone who is very open and honest about my Catholic faith, no. Again, if she's separated, guess what? She's still married. She is still married. And I could go into a further theological discussion, but that's not really the place of this specific stream. But my instant thought would be, you could, again, if you think you could be friends, but it doesn't sound like that's what's going on. So I would say no. All right, King Deplorables, here we got 8 p.m. in the chat. We're about 8 minutes behind. So King Deplorables over on Rumble, 626 Charles was over there as well. And again, Adam Krigler, thank you very much, good sir. Blues the Boss was there as well. Ryan Hinnard was there as well. Oinker Space was there. Tuggin' Me Tubin. Tuggin' Me Tubin. Oh boy. Oh, Tubin. Gosh. Oh no. Oh no. Stasis of Seasons, what's going on Rumble as well? Bobby on YouTube also sends the regards from the Krig. Nick Brown, the Krigler dropped me off here. Oh, he did, eh? Dark Jason, what's going on? Welcome, King and Rumsky. Congrats on the raid. Hey, yeah, thank you again to the Krigs. However, the more time has passed, the more I have come to realize that Terror on the Prairie isn't good. I want to like it, which initially blinded me. Again, is it a great film? Is it a perfect film? No. To say it's not good, that's... Keep in mind, that's an objective claim. We got to have that separation. Objectively, it's fine. However, The question is, do you subjectively enjoy it, or do you subjectively think it's fine, or do you subjectively hate it? You can be any way on that. There again is Adam Grigler. Let's go! Grigler raid from Diana Francisco 57. Joey's movie vlog test say, yes, I sent you the picture on Twitter. Yeah, that's what I thought. Oinker Space says, I like to Best Buy browse. Yes. And then Adam Kriller broke my heart talking about how he's not in the coffee game anymore, less coffee in the world. Soul Assassin Tad to say, did you see the Netflix is opening a physical media store? I heard the rumors on that. I think I read a little bit of the article. I did not read the full article, so I can't say my full opinion on that. What I can say is good luck. I'm all for more physical media. So if that means they're going to open up and they're, I guess, only going to have Netflix-specific content available on physical media, I'm all for more physical media in the world. Now, I don't think that was the full plan. What I read was they were going to try to essentially turn it into almost a cafe where you could basically like buy a booth or buy a space. Isn't that what they were trying to say? Where you could get food and watch a Netflix movie, only you're actually at a physical location. I don't know if that's going to work, because part of the charm of Netflix is you get to sit at home on your comfy sofa and not have to pay an arm and a leg for food. I don't know how that's going to work. Let's see. Stasis of Seasons. Oh, I should have stocked up on regular coffee before he stopped. Yeah, is that a recent decision? Or have I just been out of it that long? Bobby. Yeah, she can sing. She can. Now, again, we've only gotten a little bit of it, but if you're going to ask me based on that, can we know anything about her singing? Yeah. Adam Kriller says, wow, that's dope. You're talking about the stream and being able to pull it up. Yeah, I love it. I love it. It is pretty awesome. It's just so nice because one of the things that drives me crazy, I used to have in my OBS, I would have a window for YouTube. I'd have a chat window for Odyssey. I'd have a chat window for Rumble. And it'd just be like, oh, I'm just driving me nuts. And so when I found out that this was a plugin that had been created that allows it, the one bad thing so far is it does get to a point where if the chat box fills up too much, it will start to delete the oldest chats. I'm hoping there's some type of setting I can have that can get rid of that, because I like just having all my chats. But if worse comes to worse, I can go back quite a ways directly on EVMux. In fact, let me see. Yeah, EVMux has all of the chats. Okay, that's good to know. That is very good to know. Shout out to EVMux. Because it's nice to know if I miss something, if something gets skipped on here, I can at least pull it up. On there. So again, I can pull up things like Bobby. All right, let's see. Cthulhu. Welcome back, of course, and hope you and your new child are well. Thank you very much, Cthulhu. I appreciate that. Abomination says, does EVMux not show? Oh, no. Yeah, I mean, it's showing me on other platforms. I'm wondering if that is an issue with Odyssey specifically, Abomination. Maybe try putting it in the middle of a comment. Maybe try putting it in the middle of a comment. Let's see, Great Wuda, what's up? I mean, it wouldn't be technology unless there was some issue with it, you know? Adam Kriller smiling. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. King of Rumsky says, is the Marvels movie a cash grab? Are you trying to make me define my terms, King and Rumsky? How dare you? How dare you? No, in fact, I would say, here's the thing, King and Rumsky, and I'm glad you brought up the Marvels. No, it's the opposite of a cash grab, because it's going to lose money. Cash grab implies you make money. The Marvels, in the early indications, the early reports of what the film's tracking numbers are, indicates it's going to be a massive flop. So I would say no, it's not going to be a cash grab because it's not going to make any money. Steven says, yes, she plans on filing for divorce after New Year's. After finding out she's married, I stepped back, going very slow. Again, if you want my opinion as a Catholic and as a traditional Catholic, I would say even if you are legally divorced, if it was a legitimate natural marriage, that is something that no piece of paper can get rid of. I go back to this all the time. It's one of the many reasons why I'm very vocal about my faith and why I think that Christian marriage, sacramental marriage, is so important. Because when we say the words, until death do us part, we should mean those words. If we're not going to mean those words, then marriage becomes meaningless. And if marriage is meaningless, relationships are essentially meaningless. So, yeah. Nick Brown tagged. Thank you very much for tagging over on Rumble. Says the superhero movie that the Daily Wire produced is also needed some work with the writing, but production quality was good. Yeah. So I think I know what the one you're talking about. They actually, yeah. So that was one they got the rights to. So they distributed that movie. I don't think they had anything to do with the actual production of it. I'm blanking on the name of it right now, but I do think that, and it's a movie I have not yet seen, but I've heard some pretty good things about it. But that is an example of when we talk about the actual full originals from them. I'm trying to think about which ones, other than What Is a Woman, I'm trying to think about which ones were 100% written, produced, and distributed by Daily Wire, other than their like political films and short films and documentaries. Because I'm pretty sure, Terror on the Prairie. I think Terror on the Prairie may have been their first. I think that was the first film that they ended up having like full production, full productive control on. I could be wrong on that, but 626 Charles, I saw this, and thank you very much for correction. I can't believe it's taken this long for me to be corrected on this, but it's bent key, not broken key. But that also is a problem. Oh, well, thank you. Thank you for the correction. I was saying it wrong this whole time, and no one corrected me. How dare you? How dare you? Oh, man. All right. Let's see. Krigler Raiders. Thank y'all for sticking around as well. B-Rand on. What's up, brother? Welcome back to the chat. Appreciate that. Steven. To say, yeah, a lot's happened while you were gone from YouTube, but yes, I have moved on. Sadly, not what I was expecting because I really do like her, but you're right. I should walk away. Yeah, again, I don't let me be your guru on any of this. I can only just give you my honest thoughts and my honest opinion. That's pretty much all I can do. Just Another Red Shirt, who is a member. What's up? Hail to you. Just Another Red Shirt. Glad to have you back. Fedigator, what's up, brother? Tag to say, great to see you. As for Christian conservative movies, 2023 has been a very strong year with Nefarious, Sound of Freedom, and The Blind. It can only get better from here. Yeah, I had a student ask me about The Blind today. I have not yet seen that. I know it's been doing very well in the Fathom Events space, so that's good to hear. And yeah, Fedigator was the one who said, you should check out Nefarious. You should really check it out. And sure enough, I did, and I love it. I have a copy of it right here. Yeah, I think it's absolutely fantastic. Let's see. Okay, yeah, so Adam confirmed with the coffee about a week ago is when he stopped selling the coffee. Again, I'm sorry to hear that. Less coffee in the world. All right, let's see. JS Pena, thank you very much for tagging. Says, I haven't asked you this before, but you celebrate Halloween or no? Yeah, I do. Kind of in line with the questions from before. So yeah, there's nothing wrong with celebrating Halloween as a Catholic. Now, of course, that's within reason. Essentially, I'd like to think of it this way. So you know how there have been some priests who have made comments about things like Harry Potter, for instance, and the church as a whole does not follow them. So there's been some individual priests, for instance, who've said, Harry Potter is the devil. There's been some Protestant ministers that have said something similar to that as well. And, the overall church, though, has never made a declaration on that specific point. What I've always understood it to be, though, is when it comes to Harry Potter, or something like Harry Potter, it's clearly a fantasy world, right? It's clearly a fantasy. It's based in our world. It's based in, real life, places and spaces and such, but it's also clearly fantasy. Different than, I would say, a show like Sabrina on Netflix. Because the show Sabrina, for those that have not watched it, I have not watched it myself because I have no intention to ever watch it. In that show, they feature actual satanic ritual. So in the one case, Harry Potter, yes, there's magic, witches, and wizards, but it's fun. It's fantasy. In the case of Sabrina, they're taking actual satanic ritual, putting it into a show. Okay, I'm not going to expose myself to that. I'm not going to endorse anybody to expose themselves to that kind of stuff. So that's kind of also where we would be with Halloween as well, is dressing up, having fun, candy, all that good stuff. Hey, But the other thing, too, to remember is what is the main purpose of Halloween? It's the day before All Saints' Day. So it's meant to be a reminder to us to pray for our loved ones, to pray for the those that we have lost in our life, for those that have gone before us. So essentially, as you know, when, for instance, baby Thor, we've gone trick-or-treating with him, and we're going to continue to do so. But as he gets a little older, we'll start to actually, introduce a little bit more of the, religious significance of All Hallows Eve. Let's see. Abomination says, I put it before the question mark. Okay, I might have to look into that. Let me see. I think I can pull up that individual chat window. All right, in the individual chat, they are showing, you know what, for Abomination, how about this? How about this? I think maybe just put Odin. And that could be the one exception is on Odyssey, since for some reason the Odin doesn't show. Maybe just put Odin at the very beginning, and then that should show, and then that will let me know that you're trying to get my attention. At least for now, until we can figure out why that issue is happening only on that platform. Otherwise, it's been working pretty smoothly, I think. I've been really liking it. Con lives. Con! What's up? Welcome back. FNT, I'm going to try to come back this week. That is my goal, but it's really tricky. The problem when it comes to NFT is purely schedule. I feel like, did I say NFT? FNT. The problem with FNT, in my head, I heard NFT, and I was like, no. I stay away from that. But the problem with FNT is really the timing, because I get off of school and I get home roughly around 4 Eastern time, which is when the show typically starts. I pick up my son before Lady Sif here, before the baby Sif got here. I was picking him up around 4:45, 5 or so. So that only gave me about a 30-minute window, maybe, depending on when the show starts, to be on the show. And then after that, once I pick up baby Thor, I obviously want to spend time with him after his school day and such. And so right before baby Sif was born, I was able to, I think it was like the last stream that I was on, I was able to work out with my wife. She was able to do some pickup and stuff like that. So that's why we were able to make that one work. But now that baby Sif is here, basically it's going to be cut and go. It's going to be stop and go for me, because again, I can be on for the very start of the show, but then I'm gone and have to take care of baby Thor. I have to watch baby Thor, of course. And because I can't just let all that be put onto the Lady Freya. That just wouldn't be fair. That wouldn't be right. And so that just means that because now he's going to bed around 7 Eastern, it's a bit tricky. It's a lot trickier. So my hope is to come back this week to at least be on for the beginning. And we'll have to wait and see what happens from there. Abomination. What about 1, 2, or 3 Odin without the @ Yeah, so just put the name Odin. It should be showing up. Cthulhu, who is a member, says, yeah, the Marvels is political ad. Pretty much. Orange Reviews, who's a member, also says, well, this just in, X will be charging users $1 a year to use their platform. Really? That's a bold move, Cotton. Let's see if it plays out for them. Is that honestly what's going on with X? Now, is that actually the news, or did someone basically take... You know how this happens a lot? Whenever Twitter is about to do something, usually someone takes something out of context and changes it. So I'm not saying that that's not true, but I would be interested to hear what the actual official word on that actually is. I mean, to a certain extent, I get it, because it is an attempt to try to reduce bot usage on the, reduce bot usage on the platform and stuff. But, again, what they trying to say is that it's $1 to use the platform altogether, or is it $1 to use the platform with specific features? Because let's just be fair, right? Those are two very, very different things. So I'm trying to see if I can see anything as far as notifications go, as far as any news reports, anything trending, as far as that is concerned. I'm not seeing trending topics about that. I think he said it was it 911 breaking 911 news. I don't know how to Twitter search very well. Okay, all it's giving me is Patriot 911. So anyway, someone confirm with me if that's actually the case, if that's actually what's going on. We'll get through some more comments, and then we will jump into a box office breakdown if anyone has been waiting on that. By the way, it's been a lot of fun. So seriously, thank y'all for being back, and let me know if the new time is working out for you, because now we have to push the time back from a 7 p.m. start to 7:30 start, since again maybe Thor's going to bed around 7 now. So it just gives a little bit of that leeway for that reason. Yes, exactly, Bobby. Exactly. Let your yes mean yes. There's many other things, of course, we can quote as well. King Rumsky says, if you get married by the government but not the church, are you married? King Rumsky, that's a great question from Rumble. Appreciate that. So essentially, if you are looking to what the church has said on this matter, the church has said that if the marriage was entered into by two parties that had free will, so they chose to enter into it, so they were of their complete full consent of the will, and if they entered in with the intention, even if it was only in the beginning, the intention of remaining married for the entirety of their life, then that would constitute what the church would call a natural marriage, meaning it's not sacramental, because you would have to, of course, receive the sacrament itself for it to be sacramental, but it could still be seen as a legitimate, valid, natural marriage. If that is the case, then the church would say that that would be an example of a legitimate marriage. Now, there is a lot of question marks that can be surrounding that. There's different theologians that have had different opinions over the many centuries of the church, and there have been many of them have argued different things, such as, well, it is only valid once it's been endorsed by the church. It's only valid after Vatican II, for instance. One of the things that was focused on was that marriages between Christians, so not just Catholics, but between any and all Christians, since there is typically a very similar framework. There are very similar words, similar vows that are used. The understanding of marriage is oftentimes there as well. There's not a lot of things that a lot of Christian denominations agree on, especially when it comes to sacraments. When it comes to marriage, though, there's mostly universal agreement on what marriage actually is, what the intention of marriage should be. So they're having different opinions on this, but all intents and purposes, yeah, if you're married outside of the church, if the church, it would become more relevant if you were entering into the church, because then the church would have to look at your marriage and ask the question, was that a legitimate marriage in the first place? And the only way they can know that is by knowing the history and knowing as much information as possible. So Harg says, if you want, I can write a detailed explanation on Discord of why Terror on the Prairie objectively isn't good. And again, I'm not saying objectively it's great. That's the other thing, Hardwick, that sometimes I feel like it's talking to a brick wall, man. I'm not saying it's an objectively good movie or great movie. I'm just saying it's not an objectively terrible movie, which is what you were inferring. Fair Sci-Fi, who's a member. Marvels will bomb while the cult of Swift will make her concert movie. Crazy money. Can't wait. Can't win them all, I guess. Yeah, seriously. And with that being said, let's go ahead and, all right, let me see if I can do this without breaking anything. So again, I'm using EVMux for the stream tonight. So let's go ahead and transition over to that. And there we go. All right. So you should now be seeing the numbers from thenumbers.com. And so we'll do a little bit of a box office breakdown today. And so as you can see, for the weekend, Taylor Swift and the Eras Tour, distributed by AMC Theaters, a very interesting relationship there, made $92.8 million in its opening. That's $24,000 per screen. So very, very impressive. However, I will add as a caveat, this is not the number that they suspected the film was going to make. There were some numbers well above $100 million domestically for its opening. And since the numbers have come out, there were original reports that it had made upwards of $130 million worldwide. That number has dropped a little bit. So the fact, though, is it's doing really well. It had a great opening weekend. The question that I've had for months now, right? The question that I've had for a very long time is, will the film actually be able to hold on to this momentum? Because in my head, I'm looking at this as a concert movie, as it is. And as a concert movie, what does that mean? It means a lot of people excited, going to see it up front first, and then a very big drop. That's just what, in my head, I see. Whether that happens or not, we're going to find out very, very soon. It's not that there's, massive competition set to come out against the movie, especially when you look at the demographics that the film is bringing in. But it will be interesting to see if that drop-off is big. The most important thing of all, though, is this film has already made money and is continuing to add to its overall profits, because the actual production of this filmed concert, of which she's already made probably millions of dollars from when she was originally on tour as they were filming this concert film, she's going to be making even more money than that. So I think the production cost itself, the reports, are somewhere between like $10 and $20 million, I think. And so because it costs so little to actually produce this, and they had already probably put so much money already into that production, getting that money back from the actual tour itself, this is just going to be nonstop money. And AMC is going to benefit greatly from this because they were able to make a strong deal with directly with Taylor Swift, directly with the people behind this project. And so it means essentially a pretty good cut for the theaters. And the vast majority of these showings are coming specifically from AMC. And it also means a very, very good paycheck for Taylor Swift herself. I'm not a Swiftie. I in many ways, despise the Swiftie stuff. I'm just not a fan of it myself. But I do respect it nonetheless. That it's a very powerful, almost at times cult-like group of people who very much love her and love her music. And hey, numbers are what they are, and this movie is doing very, very well. Coming in the number 2 spot this weekend was The Exorcist Believer at $10.9 million, a 59% drop. It's actually not as high as I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to have a much bigger drop because I've heard a lot of bad things about it. One of my students said the film was boring. It wasn't really that scary. And I have not seen the reviews of others because I have kind of stayed away from this movie because I just don't have an interest in it. And I try to stay away from that demonic stuff as much as I can. But I haven't heard good things about it. So I thought that it was going to have a much bigger drop than that. But hey, $10.9 million, 59% drop, not terrible. The big question is, will it be able to make enough? And I don't think the answer is yes, by the way. Will it be able to make enough to make a dent in the $400 million that was spent by Universal for the rights to The Exorcist? So even though the film itself is already profitable and will make a decent amount of profit on its own, it won't be able to make that much of a dent into the $400 million that was spent on the actual rights that Universal spent. Going now into Paw Patrol, third week of release, still getting 39% of a hold there, so a pretty strong number. $6.8 million is what Paw Patrol made in its third week of release. And number 4 spot went to Saw 10, 28% drop there. So again, also strong showing. This film continued to add to its overall profits. And though the creator saw a 31% drop after being dropped from 700 plus screens, so that's actually not a terrible percentage drop, having those numbers of screens that you're being dropped from, the film is just not really making that much money, unfortunately. I thought it was a very, very good film. Very much enjoyed it, but the numbers are what they are. Going into the reporting from Tony and Nance, you all know we love them. We love Tony and Nance, don't we? Over at Deadline, Taylor Swift Eras Tour Swifties drop everything now for concerts pick global opening, shelling out $123+ million. Now remember, as of yesterday, I believe they were saying $130 million. That has now dropped a little bit. AMC reports that Taylor Swift The Eras Tour posted a global first weekend of 123.5, broken out that 92.8 million domestic, and another 30.7 million from 94 international territories. Now, that is the big question, that is based off of AMC's reporting, so we don't know for sure if that is necessarily accurate information, but take that with a grain of salt. What's interesting here is that Tony and Nance working together, a tag team, that's right. They work together on this one, people. Tony and Nance. They are back together again. And but what they decided to add on here is saying, no disrespect here to AMC. Don't you always love when people start off with that? Which has done a great job with the movie, and the Swifts would be happy with close to 60% of the gross. So again, a 40-60% split between the studio and, between the distributor, in this case, AMC. It's a very unique relationship here. And the Swifts, who are getting, the money as the owners of the production, of course. The question is begged is how much more the concert pick could have made with a major studio's overseas international marketing power. Now, what I find interesting is that there is a point to be made there saying, well, if the Eras Tour had been picked up by Universal or Warner Brothers and distributed, and those studios have such a massive arm when it comes to marketing power, would then the film have been able to make more money because of that? Because of the reach that these other studios have that AMC theaters does not necessarily have. Maybe. You might have a point there. There could be an argument there, but also, let's just be frank, just because you have a major studio behind your film does not mean you're going to make a lot of money either. Just talk to the massive flops that we have seen this year. Look to the movies like Blue Beetle, which is one of the lowest grossing films in DC's history. That film had Warner Brothers behind it. Now, some could argue saying, well, it didn't have the full power of it because Warner Brothers didn't believe in them. Okay, still the point is made. Warner Brothers was behind them as a distributor of the movie, and it wasn't making much of a difference. Probably had a lot more marketing money spent on Blue Beetle than the Era Store, because guess what? That's the other thing too. It's such a unique movie and such a unique experience because of being a concert film. You don't really need a lot of marketing for it. You know, the people that are going to go see this movie, they're all Swifties. There aren't a lot of normal movie-going people that don't know anything about Taylor Swift. They're going to say, you know what? I'm going to go see the new Taylor Swift movie. That's just a filmed concert. No, the vast majority of that audience is going to be people that have seen the film, or rather, have seen the concert already, or missed the concert because they couldn't go, and they want to see the concert again, or they want to see it for the first time, right? So I understand what you're trying to say there, Tony and Nance. I just don't think there's a lot of there. Going into the actual international numbers, though, Taylor Swift Eras Tour, $96.8 million is what's being reported by the numbers currently. So again, that's the reason why now at 97.2. That's the reason why I do have some questions over how much money internationally they've actually made. I did check ComScore, and according to ComScore's estimates, and these are, again, official numbers reported to them, the number's around $128 million worldwide. So, again, take the numbers with a grain of salt. Regardless of any of that, it's still making a lot of money. Exorcist Believer at $86 million worldwide. Because it didn't cost all that much, the film is making money, at least individually. For the studio, however, $400 million in the red because of how much they spent on the rights. It's not looking good for them. Paw Patrol, $126.7 million. Again, looking decent there for them. Saw 10, $65.8 million, adding to those profits. And The Creator at $79.5 million, even though it is definitely probably more than what I would have suspected the film could make. And it's getting close to the $80 million production budget number. We all know a film needs a lot more than its production budget in order to actually be able to bring in money, right? They need to make a lot more than the production budget to actually bring any money in. Going into the chart, because we love doing charting here over at OMB Reviews, we, of course, look to the $128 million. This is, again, what's being reported by ComScore. That means for the Eras Tour, $46.8 million is what we can currently say are the projected profits. And these are just the raw profits. Now, one thing to keep in mind is that this is based off of the production budget that has been reported. But remember, because of the uniqueness of this release, how much money was actually spent individually on this movie, how much of it was already paid for by the original concert, is anyone's guess. Regardless of that, though, we're looking at a film that's going to be a massive juggernaut for both AMC and also for the Swifts themselves. We do have the second weekend numbers now for The Exorcist Believer, and based off of the 2-week numbers of $85.2 million, we can project the film somewhere around $128 to $170 to the end point of its release, meaning the overall profits based off of a $30 million budget. And again, this does not account for the $400 million that was spent on the rights to the movie, but the individual film will make somewhere between $28 and $57 million in net gain profits. Imagine if the film was good. Imagine if the film was getting rave reviews. How much more money the film could potentially make. As an October film, this is not looking that great. That's just my own thought. I thought the marketing was very powerful as someone that does not like horror films, especially demonic ones, but that's where we are. Paw Patrol, $31 million in the black, so again, continuing to add to its overall profits. Saw 10 at $20 million in the black as well. Unfortunately, as I mentioned before, Creator at $79.5 million worldwide is still $72 million in the red, so even though this film might actually have a pretty general release, a pretty, I guess you could say, consistently good release. It's just not going to be enough to make up for the money that it needs to. And ultimately, this is the state of Hollywood today, right? Hollywood, they spend way too much money on all of these different things. And because they're spending all of this money, it means that they're not able to actually make the profits that they need to make. But anyway, That is the box office. Let's go ahead and head back into the chat. And let's see. Steven over on YouTube says, since Blu-rays and DVD sales are slowly leaving, when do you think DVD and Blu-ray covers will start being worthy as price collectible? I give it 3 to 5 years. Well, there's already many that are worthy, because keep in mind, a lot of releases don't have that slipcover for all of the release. So you could already get money for that. They're already valuable. There's already a market for that, I should say. It's just going to increase as time goes on. Nick Brown says, thank you, Odin. I forgot the name too. It was the Hyperions. Yes, that's right. The Hyperions. Great Wood. Kenneth Owens did one with BLM. Exactly. That's why I asked, how many have they done that's not a political or a documentary movie? They've made tons of documentary stuff. Master Gaming says, Nefarious is what the Exorcist Believer should have been. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. See, J.S. Pena says, Sabrina with Melissa Joan Hart, or the Netflix series. The Netflix series, J.S. Pena, the Netflix series. Definitely not the old one. I'm sorry, I thought I was clear on that. I thought I had mentioned Netflix, maybe I didn't. Yeah, no. Orange Chat then says, wait, the new Sabrina or old show? No, the new one. The new one actually features specifically demonic satanic rituals. It's I don't remember anything from the original show having that kind of stuff in there, but let's see. On YouTube, Comics Division, 7-foot doppelganger, Hardwick is giving off major sellout vibes. Abomination says, sounds like Odin needs a Ouija board for Halloween decoration. No. I will burn that thing. Again, it's not the thing itself. It's what the thing can do when you are willingly, basically think of it this way. If you willingly crack a door open, something can walk through. Master of Gaming, who is the bigger NPC director? Who's the bigger NPC, Director X or Rachel Zegler? I have not been following the whole Director X thing because everything about the whole Robin Hood thing, I have no interest in it. I have no interest in that show at all. So I'm just going to say Rachel Zegler. Laura, the Mother Major General story. What's going on, Laura? Welcome back. York, Letteros, tag to say, Echo, Disney Plus rewrites and delays amid MM1 MIW Ezra Miller skinwalking controversy. I don't know that second one, but yes, lots of delays with Disney. Abomination, I appreciate that way. I appreciate how you decided to take that. Let's see. Laura says, so excited for the Daily Wire Snow White. I am too. I think there's a lot of potential for it. King Kane Rumsky, where are you going? When are you going back to MNF? Just curious. Monday Night Football, I retired. I just can't do it anymore. I'm just, bad knees and all. Can't do it. Laura says, this is redundant from my Discord post, but the honest trailers for Ahsoka was fire. Oh, okay. I'll have to check that out. I will have to check that out. Orange Hat says, that was from Breaking 911. Yeah, I thought that's what you were saying. I just getting used to this new setup here. Abomination says, that's cheap. Yeah, $1 to use Twitter. Gary Benjamin Sandwich says, OMG, 11 reviews on latest watches addicted to Criticless. I know, Gary Banjo Sandwich, I know. Isn't it so addicting? Seriously, it's something I just cannot get enough of. It's so much fun. If you've not joined Criticless, yes, please do, and please follow me. And I try to follow as many people as I possibly can. What I love about this is you can follow a lot of people, and it won't really impact you all that much. You'll be able to see a lot of reviews. What I love about it, though, is you can actually get what's known as a there's a group on there similar to what we had with MySpace, where you had your top friends list, right? You can have what's called a friend with benefit, and when you choose some people to be in your friends with benefits, essentially what it does is it basically curtails, or rather it curates, I should say, a group of people that you trust, and you trust their movie reviews. And so when you look for a review or you look for a score for a movie, it'll show you what the audience score is. That's everybody. What your friends' views are, meaning, hey, let's say if this can get big enough, it'd be great if it could. If this gets big enough and you have someone like a Jeremy Johns on there, if you have someone from, people from the Fellowship on there, and you want to know, okay, what are the people I trust opinions on any given movie? You can curate that for yourself, And that way, every time you go to a movie, if there's a score that they've put on there, you'll have a curated score of just those people, in addition to the general audience score. And what I love about it too is that it's a free speech platform, and that is something that I think is just so needed in today's world, right? So follow me on Criticless. It's awesome. I'm obsessed. I think it's so much fun, and I cannot wait to write my next review. Honestly, it's just so much darn fun. So much darn fun. If you have other questions about it, you can let me know in the chat, but I do want to spend the rest of the time tonight on the chat. The creator of it's also very good about responding to questions and hearing feedback. You can actually, there is a group on there specifically geared towards feedback where you can give recommendations, and he's very open to hearing ideas, and he's implemented a couple of things and has planned on implementing other things that he's not already, from a lot of people in that group. So it's great. Yeah, Orange Ad, unfortunately, I cannot open links on here. I don't want to break anything, so I'll have to check that one out later. I will have to check that one out later. And I just got your message, Laura, about the Honest trailer. Let's see. Master Gaming says, I heard great things about Killers of the Flower Moon. Yeah, I mean, I know the early reviews on Rotten Tomatoes are there, and that's, again, Criticless is great because it is very much meant to be a alternative to Rotten Tomatoes. So, I mean, look, it's Scorsese, so I have a lot of high hopes. I just don't want to be disappointed like I was with The Irishman. The Irishman was not very good. All right, just another red shirt at 826 says, Breaking 911 is referencing Forbes for its claim that X will soon charge $1 a year. And again, I think context is so incredibly key, right? So 911, right, referencing Forbes, it will soon charge $1 a year. So not that it is, not that it's going to immediately, but I feel like that's also been reported for a long time that he has thought about having a charge to use it. Again, $1 a year, let's be honest. Come on, people. $1 a year to use something that you probably use every single day, that's very cheap. Going back to what Abomination on Odyssey said, that is very, very, very cheap. I mean, I can't do the quick math on that, but you divide however many days you would typically use Twitter by $1, that's very cheap. That's very, very, very cheap. Soul Assassin. Oh, great. Numbers. They're back. Lex Ludendi. What's going on, Lex Ludendi? Hail to you. Laura says, Nonstop Money should have been the tour's name, and haters gonna hate the Swifties. That's true. Kick it, Rumsky over on Rumble. Odin, who do you like better, T-Swift or the Spice Girls? I mean, I grew up in the 90s, so I'm gonna have to say Spice Girls. At least there's fun there. I'm not to say you can't have fun with Swift. I just don't understand. I just don't understand it. And you add to that how she's gotten involved in like political discussions, and didn't she endorse a candidate in Tennessee as well? And it was like a candidate that I was not a fan of, and so I'm like, get out of my state. That I think is also why I now, like, as I've always not really liked her all that much. I've just never found her to be that talented, personally. But the other big thing for me is more recently, she got involved in politics and she was pushing for a political candidate in my state. And it's like, no, get your nonsense out of my state, please. Forever Sci-Fi, who's a member, says, as someone pointed out in a meme, between Taylor Swift and Pfizer, Travis Kelce is guaranteed to get his heart broken. Oh! Oh, no. That's a good one. Forever Sci-Fi. Gosh. Heartbreak Ridge. It can't be proven. This is not a scientific show. Please consult your doctor. But honestly, yeah. I would say take half of that out and you're still very, very likely to have a broken heart. Heartbreak Ridge, just on how it deals with the Catholic aspects of the franchise, Exorcist deserves to bomb. Oh yeah, see, Heartbreak Ridge, I have not looked into what the story is trying to tell. The only thing I know about it, and I know this has been talked about on different shows already, The only thing I know about this new Exorcist movie is there's apparently a line said by the mother of the original girl from the original Exorcist film who makes some random comment about how, well, the priest didn't allow me in the room because of patriarchy nonsense stuff. And I'm like, no, get out of here. Because guess what? You want to know a fun fact? They wouldn't have let me in either. Abomination over on Odyssey says, for the people who can't get enough of a serial killer claiming to never have killed anyone, it's Saw 10. I know, right? Oh, man. TV feed Politico it sounds like spam to me over on Rumble. Hardwick, considering how much Taylor Swift's tour is making, I wonder if a theatrical re-release of ABBA the movie would make money. I mean, it would make something, but let's just be honest here. Taylor Swift is someone who appeals to the Gen Z crowd, the Zoomers, a lot of high school students today. I don't know what they would, are they considered to be a part of Gen Z or are they Gen Alpha? I don't know where we are with that, but current high school students are obsessed with her. There's way too many, at my school, there's way too many Swifties. It's a problem, but I do ultimately think that ABBA is an older demographic. We've had this conversation before, right? What we've seen consistently across the board is films and franchises that appeal specifically to an older demographic have really not been performing all that well. At least compared to the budget that they're spending on this film, on these various films. So yeah, it would probably do better than some modern stuff, maybe, but I don't think that the age demographic for that audience is necessarily going to show up for it. That's just my take. Because remember, too, that's also from a very, very different era, where in today's world, right, going to see this film version, it's going to have modern film techniques, things like that. So anyway, not a fan of The Creator, hated the end of The Creator. I can respect that, but I think it's solid. Orange Hat says, Taylor Swift, you mean the woman who put a witch ritual in her performance on stage? No thanks. Also, her music was never that good. Yeah. I'd forgotten about that whole thing. I've forgotten about that chestnut. No, thank you. Stay away. Cthulhu is a member, says, wait, are you saying my 4K Steelbooks version of Bros should be treated as family heirloom? As a family heirloom? Ka-ching. No, I'm not saying that, Cthulhu. You disgust me that you actually have that, but... But yeah, I mean, with Best Buy going out, but I guess here's the other thing too, Cthulhu, kind of like going off of that point. The issue is, right, if Best Buy, the news of Best Buy going away from physical media, things like that, right, however that plays out, whenever that plays out, some might think, oh, well, if them going out of it, doesn't that mean the whole 4K exclusive, 4K Steelbook exclusive stuff is then also going to go away? Oh, nay. Remember, a lot of the 4K Steelbooks nowadays can actually also be purchased on Amazon. And last I checked, Amazon is not moving away from physical content. It's not moving away from selling physical items. And so, yeah, I would say it'd be awesome if the Best Buy exclusive Blu-rays and 4Ks and Steelbooks that I have, because I have a lot of those, maybe they'll go up in value a little bit, but a lot of these things can now be. So that's the other good thing, too, for any physical media collectors. Amazon, and I know that a lot of people will have issues with Amazon, but at least there will be a place for us to still buy physical media in that regard. At least in that regard. Gomer Pyle didn't tag, but I saw baptized. Yes, she got baptized this past weekend. So she has received sanctifying grace. You know me. I'm not going to delay that any longer than I could. It was only 3 weeks because of family travels and such. Baby Thor was actually... Baby Thor, because of... He was born during COVID. He was born in 2020, so he was born in the heart of COVID, so the whole hospital experience was ridiculous. But it also meant family and family visiting was a lot more complicated, too. I want to say Baby Thor was baptized within the first week or max 2 weeks of his life. That usually is when most people will have a baptism done, but... Let's see. Abomination tagged to say, I'm with Disparu, or maybe it's just how he makes his videos on Robin in the Hood. It looks hilariously bad, and Disparu's videos are gold. Yeah, I mean, shout out to him, of course. I don't know. There's just something about what I've seen, even just from I've only seen, to be honest, clips without sound on. And just from those clips without sound, I have just no interest. I just have none. Physics Channel with Kenny Lee. What is going on, Physics Channel with Kenny Lee? By the way, 38 people still watching. Thank y'all for watching. Y'all are awesome. I'm pretty sure, I'm positive Tuesday night's main event's already started. That's the one real big downside to my current streaming schedule, because I have to push it back 30 minutes every Tuesday. So that means I'm going to be bumping right up into them because of that. But hey, I've been streaming on Tuesdays for years. I've always been at this time slot on Tuesdays. So I claim seniority. I claim seniority. I claim it. I do. But for those that did not see the post earlier, just because we are getting closer to the end of the stream, just do keep in mind that I am only streaming on Tuesdays now, 7:30 to 9, and no Saturday streams anymore. And that's ultimately because it's already tough having the few days a week that I do a lot of YouTube stuff with my family. Having Saturday nights open for my wife especially is just really important. So, and I know that y'all understand that because y'all are awesome, but I figured I would just say it out loud just in case anyone did not know that. Let's see. Laura says, one fun feature on Criticless is being able to make lists like favorite movies. Yes. You can make lists. You can comment on lists. You can share lists. And again, it sounds pretty, simplistic. What I love most about it, though, is the rating system, to be honest, because it's a sliding scale, and instead of it just being a generic 5 stars or a general percentage, it is instead rooted in what I can just describe as fun, right? So let me go ahead and just show an example of that because I think that it's worth talking about. So let's see. As you can see, Mythic Quest, I gave a very high rating to, and I'm the only person that has actually rated the show. But notice a 90% score is most excellent, whereas a really bad score would be bogus, etc. So actually, let me go back to my feed real quick so you can kind of see what the general things are. So for Strays, I actually saw Strays with my wife the other day. Shout out to them for actually sending me, I think that was Universal, who sent me a review copy of that. It was decent. It was actually funnier than it had any right to be. 45% is decent. A terrible movie is heinous. So a 1-star rating essentially is heinous. 5 stars is most excellent. Rad is a 4-star rating. Again, decent is a 3-star rating. I don't know how many bogus ratings I have, but there we go. Cocaine Bear, I gave a 2-star rating to, so that's a bogus score. I love it. It just makes it a lot more fun. I love the color schemes. It's very retro, and it's great. All right, let's go ahead and get to some last comments because I do need to head out in a couple of minutes because baby Sif wakes up around 9, and I don't want to be late for that because the Lady Freya needs help. Orange Chat, hey, thank you very much, man. I'll be going live on a friend's channel at 9. I need to fix my camera. Absolutely, Orange Chat. Thanks for being here, dude. Appreciate it. Oh, boy. Odin's Catholic Priest Doppelganger. I just noticed you've subscribed to Jack Murphy Live. Explain yourself. Am I still subscribed? I remember I may have subscribed like a long time ago, but I haven't watched a Jack Murphy video in forever. Is he even still making content? Exposed. Master Gaming, why do you have no interest in Robin Hood and The Blind? The Robin Hood one is just because it just doesn't look good, and I just don't want to waste my time with it. There's a lot of other things I'd rather watch than that. And then with The Blind, it's not that I for that one, it's more complicated because I just don't have a lot of time to watch movies now. That's just kind of the fact of life. And so I have to be even more picky with my movies than I was previously. So I'm just not going to spend it on a movie that I just don't know if I'm going to like it because, as I mentioned, most faith-based movies are just not good. Most of them are not. There's exceptions. Nefarious is a great example of that. But it's not a rule. Kimberly G, what is going on? Howdy, everybody. Sorry I'm late. It's okay. We're wrapping things up. Abomination over on Odyssey says, I don't see charging $1 just to read Twitter being a good idea, but if they make it so that you have to pay $1 for access to post threads, videos, or multimedia for a year, that sounds like a good idea. Maybe $1 per month, though, and $10 per post to boost it. Yeah, I mean, Abomination, that's what I think it's going to be. I think it's going to be you have to pay $1 to access the platform in any real way. So you can view tweets. Basically, if a tweet is public, you can watch it. You can look at it, right? No matter what, if you're signed in or not. But if you spend $1, then you can like, you can share, comment, things like that. That's how I think it's going to happen. That would make sense to me. But yeah. Laura says, there's a rumor that T Swift will be in the new Wolverine Deadpool movie. She is ubiquitous. No! Hardwick. Think it may be more than a rumor. Swift is spotted with some of the actors. Supposedly she's playing Dazzler. Ugh. No, thank you. Keegan Rumsky. Is Baby Thor now Toddler Thor? He's still baby. I mean, I think he's always going to be Baby Thor, but... Bruce, I've already bought 19 film titles this month. You have a problem. No, I'm kidding. You know that I support you. From Amazon. Father Miller, who is a member. What's up, Father? Ahoy. Robin Hood the Hood is the best comedy on TV today. No! Disprove videos are gold, says Kimberly G. Father says, is the Saturday stream the same time? Again, yeah, it's canceled on Saturdays. Saturdays are canceled. I need to have that, again, the weekends, I need to have that time open for my wife. All right. Abomination, probably better without sound, as is not exaggerating at all with his imitation of their music. Oof. Only Tuesdays, so much for my previous comment. Yeah, exactly. Hardwick, based on the trailer, the creator looks like a transhumanist propaganda, and when I saw the robot child, I thought, oh, come on, you're going to get that emotionally manipulative. Bro, calm down. Heartbreak Ridge, real Michael Bolton in real Michael Bolton in Office Space energy there. Master of Gaming. Why do you have no interest in Silent Night, John Woo, and Ferrari, Michael Mann? Who said that I have no interest in... I'm not a big John Woo person, for one. Isn't John Woo isn't he like a horror guy? I don't like horror films. And then Ferrari, I'm not opposed to Ferrari. The R, thanks for letting me know about Criticless. Just joined. Nice, dude. Yeah, follow me, and I will make sure to check it out. Yes, Father, I'm in the same way. J.S. Pena, Chris Gore said Strays was bad, but then he admitted to being a cat person, and everything made sense. Yeah, if you're a dog person, there are some things in there and some jokes in there that you think I think that you will find funny. Like, my wife looked at, my wife and I talked about it. It's not a good movie, right? When I said it's a decent movie, it's not a good movie. It just meant I found it entertaining. It was more entertaining than it had any right to be. That's how I should honestly say it. It's not that it's better than it had any right to be, because it's not a good movie, but it's definitely a lot more entertaining than it should be. Forever Sci-Fi, leave it to Az and Disbrew to watch bad shows like Robin Hood. Yeah, seriously, I will leave it to them. They are the experts. John Woo, action director. Oh, wait, that's right. John Woo. Isn't he the guy that did Mission Impossible 2? Isn't that him? Yeah, Hardwick. Hard Boiled, Hard Target, Mission Impossible 2. Yeah, so my only real experience with him then is Mission Impossible 2, and I did not like it. So, Laura, glad you're back and that the fam is doing well. Thank you. Appreciate that. Yeah. All right, cool. So those are all of the comments. So thank y'all again for joining me tonight. This has been a ton of fun. Great to be back to streaming. And just again, as an announcement, only streaming now on Tuesdays from 7:30 to 9 p.m. And obviously in the midst of newborn, all things are always going to be subject to change. I was going to try to do a giveaway. I just don't have the time to at this point. So maybe in the future, we'll try the giveaways feature on EVMux, as it is separate from the cookies and stuff like that. But it might offer some interesting dynamics. But Father, get your Central Time nonsense out of here, okay? We're Eastern here, baby. We're Eastern here, baby. So no, it's 7:30 to 9 Eastern Time. All right? Father's also going to the Milwaukee. I'm obviously not going to be able to go to that because, family. Cthulhu, missed the show after so long. Dave, missed you as well. But also, again, shout out to Adam Krigler. Krigler sent a raid on Rumble, and we had the most Rumble comments in such a long time. Abomination, I love you, man. Abomination says, but what's that in Mountain Time? Gary Badger Sandwich, it's now 2 a.m. Appleseed is an anime. Okay, Bruce. Okay, calm down. Calm down. Shout out to Bruce. By the way, I still need to go through your box. I just have not had the time to sit through and sift through the films that you've sent, all of them at least. And of course, if I do anything with the other thing you sent me, I will, of course, let you know before any giveaway happens. But I still need to look at that too. Again, that's how far behind I am on things. But I can hear my wife walking upstairs, so I need to go ahead and take care of that. So thank you all for watching tonight. This has been a ton of fun. Can't wait to do a lot more with EVMux. I'm so glad that this stream feature of being able to highlight all the comments from all the chats worked. Glad to see it. Hopefully this is a setup that we can continue to use going into the future. So you guys are all amazing and beautiful people. Hope you have a wonderful rest of your evening. And as always, God bless. And now for a huge special shout out to all of my Chosen of Valhalla members: Father Luca Illich, Laura, the Mother Major General's Story, Rosetta Allen, check out her YouTube channel by the name Eagle Rider. Miss Martin Muses, check out her YouTube channel by the same name. Also to Matt317, check out his Twitch channel of the same name. Mr. Roy and ZK-Man, check him out over at xtheboundaries.co. Thank you very much for being my chosen members this month. And if you want your name shouted out at the end of every live stream and video, also access to a podcast, access to a giveaways channel, and tons of other stuff, go check out to be a member today in the links in the video description below. You guys are all amazing and beautiful people. Have a wonderful rest of your day. And as always, God bless.